Aquarius, how are you? Let's do a reading for your current energy, shall we? As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. Now, I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really makes a difference to my channel. And I would love to see my channel continue to grow. So that's how you can help me make that happen. All right, let's see what's going on for all of my Aquarians for the next 7 to 10 days. All right, so we're riding on a situation here that we don't know whether we should end it or walk away or we should stay. All right, here we have you in the energy of the Hanged Man. So you're a little confused trying to figure out what's my next step. And the overall energy this week is that of the Death card reversed to the Eight of Cups reversed as well. So that's where I'm getting that thought, is that, there is some situation where you're on the fence. Do I walk away? Do I stay? What should I do? Because here you are a little confused as to what it is you really need to do. Now, this Hanged Man is saying, let's gain a little bit of perspective here. Let's kind of step back and take a look at the picture and see, what we really need to do. We need to see all sides of a situation in order to make a really sound decision. And I think this is where you're at. You're at that point where you've got to make some decisions. Now, in the near future, we do have you in the Eight of Pentacles energy, and at the base of what's going on is the Six of Pentacles. So this could be around a job situation that you are dealing with, and I'm feeling it's more about that than a relationship, but, make it apply to how it does in your life. The King of Pentacles here is reversed, all right? So again, I'm feeling like this could be around a work situation or some contract that you have going on. It could be a relationship, but the King of Pentacles, when he comes up reversed, is a very greedy, very shrewd type of person. And I think you've been feeling like you've been, just kind of led along, a little breadcrumbed by this King of Pentacles. And it's just like, things just don't seem like they're very balanced here. And, you probably do a lot of good work. But what's fair is fair, right? And I think, you, Aquarius, you want to know that, you don't want to keep doing things for people who don't appreciate you. And this King of Pentacles, he'll string you along as far as he can before he'll hand you that paycheck, right? And I think this is where you're kind of struggling. It's just like, I don't want to keep working for somebody who's not going to pay me. I'm not going to keep working for somebody who's not paying me what I'm really worth, when I could go somewhere else and probably make better money. So I think you're at a point here where with the Knight of Swords energy above you is just like, you want to do something, you want to say something, you want to make a shift. You're on the fence about whether or not you should walk away or you should stay. But we also have the Nine of Wands here coming in reverse. So, you're at a point where you're ready to cut your losses. I think you are ready to do what you got to do in order for you to feel good about what it is you're doing for this person. Like I said, I just feel like you're working for somebody who is not giving you what your value is. I think, resentment's starting to build up. Because here we have the Five of Swords energy, and I have a Page of Swords also. So when we add these up, we could have like the Six of Swords energy where, you've been sitting in this energy of feeling a little bit troubled, maybe, like I said, taken advantage of. You hate to like have an argument over something. You need to be ready. It's like if I go in there and I say, hey, I need, a raise, or what happened to the promotion that you were going to give me, and when am I going to get paid, kind of thing. You want to make sure that if you walk away from this, everything is going to be okay. Because an argument, I do feel, can erupt as a result of this. And with this Knight of Swords coming in reversed, you want to make sure that if you are going to go in there and they turn around and they're going to just fire you on the spot because, how dare you, question whether or not I'm going to give you money or I'm going to pay you. I just feel as if, you want to be ready. You don't really want to walk away from this. You want it to work out. You want to have a good conversation. But I think that, you could be very challenged when it comes to this. And when we do have the Five of Swords energy, you know, it's one of these things where somebody wants to have the last word. And I think you are the one that wants to have the last word, but it's also an energy around, like, you can't not say anything either, you know, so you're at that point where either you take this chance and you have this conversation with this King of Pentacles, or you know, continue to work and, you know, hold it all in. Now, at the base of what's going on, we do have the Three of Cups. So I feel like, you know, you could be in your head over all of this, you know, and, you know, blowing it up into a bigger proportions than it has to be, you know, but, you know, you don't know. I mean, I feel as if, you know, there's not a clear answer or direction that you know to take right now. But I do sense that if you do have this conversation with this coming in at the base of what's going on, I think there's going to be a good outcome, all right? You just can't be afraid to say what you have to say, to stand up for yourself, you know, and have that argument really kind of benefit in your favor, you know, so that you can change the mind of this King of Pentacles, so they can see your value, so they can see your worth, so that they can see that you've been working for a long time and you haven't been getting paid what you should. Final outcome here, I do have the Page of Swords, all right? And again, look how red his face is. I feel as if you're at that point that, you know, rather than hold it all in and be really upset and angry and just kind of stewing in this energy, you know, you need to say something. I mean, the Page of Swords delivers a message. You know, it's like if you want to have a good start and you want to feel good moving forward, you're going to need to speak up, and you're going to have to not be afraid of, you know, some of the arguments and things that come up as a result of this. You just need to be ready for it. And honestly, you know, if you speak from the heart and you tell it like it is, and, you know, it's been 3 weeks since I've gotten my paycheck, and, you know, rent's due and the bills are due, and I just need to know that I have that money. I just need to know I'm going to get paid. I need to know that, you know, if you're promising this raise, that I'm really going to get this raise. You know, you just need to speak up is what I'm feeling is the basis and the foundation of this reading. You know, because here again, you want a balanced and fair give and take. And when we have the Six of Pentacles coming up and you're working really, really hard, you know, you want to be paid what you are worth. And you, like I said, you don't really want it to walk away from it. You want it to be fixed. You know, the Death card is about death and rebirth, all right? It's not always about an ending. And what you want to see is a good resolution as a result of this, you know? So it's going to take you really kind of sitting and gaining a full perspective, so that when you go in to have this conversation, you are very clear that you have seen both sides of everything, so that you have a balanced conversation, so that you have a winning argument, so that, you know, this King of Pentacles can't argue with the fact that, oh, well, maybe you do deserve a little bit more. Maybe I should open up and, you know, give you a promotion or whatever, you know, however this plays out. The fact that I do see here a good outcome at the end of the day, don't be afraid to stand up for who you are and for what you are worth, all right? Go ahead and have this conversation, because I think it will be one that you might be surprised that, you know, you end up having a good outcome and everybody ends up happy. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Aquarius. Please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. I sure appreciate each and every one of you. And if you appreciate what I do here, hit that like button, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. In the meantime, be happy, be healthy, and be kind. All right, bye now.